Thank you, Jasper, and everybody else. Yeah, you can always stand on your head, and then it will be possible to read the top part better. It was not the idea to confuse you. I think it just catches your attention, and that's exactly what we had in mind. I love posing questions because that's how life comes to me, and I actually also love answering those questions. But tonight or today, I'd love to share my view on this question that is posed there. What are you looking for, and what are you living for? So the idea is to just help you, like this experiment has helped me to just focus better on what is important in my life. So this is authentic. It is not copied from anywhere, and I'm sure it will be useful as a framework for you to, in fact, investigate and audit your own life and ask yourself, so what are you living for? There's no wrong answer here, because everybody is different, and the idea is to, as I say there, unlock your life's meaning and what you are living for. As you can see there, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. We're trying to unlock that lock. And today we'll be embarking on a journey to explore the essence of our lives, your purpose, and then obviously the fact that you have the power of choice. So it is my privilege to actually share this view with you. And as I say, use it as a framework as you go forward. Now, what I've done is I help you to, try and remember what I'm saying and what I'm trying to share with you by sharing some slides with you. And they're quite detailed. It's almost like reading a book tonight. But you could actually go through it in your own leisure. But let me go through it with you. The purpose of the journey is embracing the meaning of life. And what we haven't said there is, it's not only what are you looking or what are you living for, but whom are you living for? And today we stand at the threshold of possibility. I'm not going to just read all that. I'm sure you can read that, but I'm going to give you time. It's a period of self-reflection, and it's a matter of hope and inspiration. And I've coined this acronym called WAYLF. What are you living for? And then we'll delve into some questions to help you focus on what is important in your life. And as I say, we're all different, but there are common denominators. And we need to actually focus on the center of our lives. So what I've done is I've started out with asking you, the W stands for what or whom are you living for? What is the agenda, or what are the answers you are looking for? What are the aspirations and the achievements that start your life, that inspire you? What are you yearning for? Is it about yesterday? And I've coined a word called yesterday, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But yesterday is gone. Yesterday is where we stand, on the cusp of the future, because today is part of the future. The L stands for living. Are we just living to live, or have we got a plan to have a legacy, or are we trying to experience or experiment our? Could we have a longer life? And what would be the purpose of that? Why would you want a longer life? To earn more money so you can actually have a longer life, and the cycle continues? Or is it about love? And then the F could stand for many things. Is it about family or friends, or just fun? We all love fun. Finances. Is it about freedom or fulfillment? And the final one is something that should get us going. Is it about living for the finishing line? Are we trying to ensure that when we cross that finishing line, we have actually achieved our goal in life? So here goes. And the reason for this, I once heard a pastor say, most people, when they preach on Sundays or any time of the day now, because we can access sermons all over the place, they answer all the questions we haven't asked. People go to Sunday they go to church, and there they go and listen to a sermon that somebody has prepared, and they're answering questions that nobody's asked. So today we're going to ask questions that are relevant, and you will supply the answers. It's not, we're not examining it. We're examining it, but we're not asking you to put your answers on here because it is different. It would be making a very interesting discussion if we had a discussion group, which we're not having tonight. But right, so what are you living for is the question. So there are different facets or areas of our lives we have to investigate or just examine. And remember, tonight is just something which could trigger you tomorrow when you don't feel good, or when you do feel good. Ask yourself, what is this all about? So do a lot of introspection, and obviously prayerfully, not only on Sundays. You might find that the Lord comes for you, all of us, not on a Sunday. He might come during the course of a week or in the middle of the night. We discover this intricate tapestry of our lives as we ask these questions. So let's remember that the meaning of life is not confined to just one dimension. We're talking about multi-dimensions. God has got a spiritual dimension in which we are moving, but we're living on the earth. We could have the best of both worlds if we just get it right. So life is a grand tapestry, interwoven with purpose, choice, and the power to transform our own lives and other people's lives. We hold within ourselves the power to choose, to shape our own destiny, and to write our own story. So we'll encounter shadows of yesterday. We'll think about the lessons we learned in the past, and there'll be lessons of things that we are bound to regret. But then, what is the use of just looking into the past if we're just going to have regret? We should learn and grow and seek forgiveness and renewal in those things. So every day, even now, is an opportunity to say yes to today. Now, that is where my word comes from. Yes to today is to embrace the present moment and chart a course towards a brighter future. So we will even conclude that this presentation by playing your song, which I've written a couple of months ago, which somebody's going to sing for you. And I'm sure when you listen to the words in the song, it will make a big impact in your life because it is spirit-filled. So we're talking about a journey. It started, it's continuing, and it will end at some stage in the future. So it's all about faith and the grace of God. And obviously we have faith in people as well. So here we stand, we've got a shared purpose, and we need to create a life of meaning, a life of love and fulfillment. So I want to encourage you today to seize the power. They're talking about seizing the day, carpe diem. Now, I sometimes, I don't know what it means. Carpe diem, we know this is to grab the day, to embrace the day, seize the day. And I've in the past, I don't know what it means carpe diem, but I said, maybe it stands for seize the night as well. I haven't looked into what it means. It's just my own translation. It just means that seize the day and every moment, even in the 24 hours in a day. So you could actually stand there or sit there and say to yourself, forget about yesterday. We learned a lot of things from there, but let's talk about today. And then we say yes to today, and then embrace life's meaning. So we are the architects of hope and the creators of our own destiny. Now, some people would say, well, geez, this is new age stuff. Of course it's new age. We're living in a new age, but it's got nothing to do with, self, redemption. We're talking about Jesus Christ. We're talking about God. We're talking about the wonderful creative work that God works in us. And the idea tonight, and when we have these discussions and sharing with you, is just to enrich and challenge you, because I challenge myself with these thoughts. We've got to look at the gratitude in our hearts, and as we journey forward, we need to find out what is the thing that really makes us stick. It's not only about arriving at the destination, but eventually we'll go over the finishing line. But there is this in-between period. They're talking about the dash. What do you live in between? you don't have to read all that now, but in brief, it just means this. Viktor Frankl, he was a neurologist, Austrian neurologist, a psychiatrist, and also a Holocaust survivor. Now, he has documented his thoughts while he was in captivity, and he actually made this wonderful discovery, which you'll see in yellow there. He says, everything can be taken away from a man but one thing. The last of the human freedoms is to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose your own way. Now, he said those things as he was being used and doing hard labor. He saw he was in captivity. He saw he was captured. He saw he didn't have freedom, physical freedom. But he knew that in his mind, he could think. He could, nobody could steal from him what he actually thought. If you have this will not to be intimidated, you could actually enjoy your free will, and you could actually think. Nobody knows what you know, and nobody knows what you're thinking. And this is a wonderful weapon. Even in the Bible, we find that the Bible tells us that the devil cannot read your thoughts. I don't know whether you know this. He can only read so far. It depends on how you act, what your body language is, what you say, what you declare, and what you pronounce. So the main thing here is you have control over your own thoughts. So you can think what you want, and you could actually keep it as a secret. Nobody except God can actually drill down, because Romans 8:28 says, and further says, God can read your heart and your mind because he's the creator. So that's just the thought. Viktor Frankl, a Jew, that was obviously in captivity, and during the Holocaust, he was a survivor. He came to this wonderful discovery that you have, in fact, the power of controlling your own thoughts. And nobody knows what you know, and they don't know what you're thinking. The last item there is St. Augustine in the 1st century after Christ. He made this wonderful statement. He said, the soul of man will never find real peace until it is at peace with God. So that is what we're actually looking for at the end of the day. We're looking for freedom, looking for peace, looking for happiness. We can have all kinds of words. We actually want joy and all these wonderful things that just make our lives so much worth living. And that's why the question is, what are you living for? And what are you looking for, obviously? Now, I have covered this during the course of a year, I think, or last year. This is my way. It's a formula I wrote and shared in publications as to how to calculate the eternal worth component of your life. Remember, at the end of the day, we will all be weighed. If you go and read Corinthians, Paul says, God will investigate and examine whether it's about gold or whether it's about dust. What is the upshot of your life? So if you want to calculate the eternal worth value of your life, there's the formula. The L stands for life. The S stands for self-supporting activities, and the MAA stands for materialistic ambitions and activities. Now, in a nutshell, we're going to calculate the eternal worth. We're going to actually put some fire to this. We're going to test the eternal worth value of what are you living for and what am I living for by doing a subtraction sum. We're going to start with an L, which is your life. I'm going to tell you how it works. And then we deduct from there the self-supporting activities, everything to do with you. And then when you're done with that, we're talking about how you sustain yourself and work and all these other things. And then we're going to do one more deduction to see what is left at the end of this day when we calculate the eternal worth of this day, whether it's Sunday or any other day of the week. And the materialistic ambitions and activities that we are launching, we're striving for to just make ourselves worth more. Now, there is the code legend of the formula. Eternal worth is the quantifiable eternal worth component of this day or this hour or maybe my life. The L stands for life, comprising the sum total of all the time, all the energy, money, intellect, talents that God has invested in your life, available to you during your whole lifetime, or during a specific time period, as I said, could be an hour or a day or a month or this last year. But then we deduct from all those opportunities that God has given us. You deduct everything that supports you as a human being, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and so on. So we deduct from there the self-supporting activities. We've got to eat, think, sleep, work, rest, learn, exercise, earn, spend, invest, play, meditate, pray, socialize. The list goes on. Everything that you do every day of your life. And then you can imagine, let's say life, is 1,000 points, for example. We need to now calculate how much of those 1,000 points are eternal worthy. We deduct all the self-supporting activities, everything we did. We can actually do this exercise by taking the number of hours in a week. We take 160 hours in a week. How much of that we sleep, actually? So you see what I'm saying? So you can use a random number of 1,000, to calculate what is the eternal worth of that day or that month or that period in your life. And then the material activities or the materialistic ambitions and activities. I want to study to become a doctor. I want to one day do this, and I want to die the richest person on earth, or something like that, which is quite silly. But this is what we actually do. So the question is, what are you living for? If it's for an eternal worth, if it's something that's worth eternally, not just temporarily, not materialistic, then we got to do this. Now, let's just follow through on what I said. Let's take a week, for example, 168 hours in the week. That's 24 times 7. And you deduct all the self-supporting activities. Now, remember, we're not only talking about eating and drinking and sleeping. We're talking about everything. We're talking about working. We're working so many hours a day, sometimes overtime, and even after hours. We're just relaxing. It's not about God. It's not about any other thing. It's about just sustaining yourself, resting. And then at the end of the day, we start dreaming. We're dreaming about that thing, that overseas trip, that other, all those materialistic things. When you deduct that, that is when you get to the eternal worth component of your life. And it's a shocking hour or 2 or 3 or maybe 10 during the course of a week. Now, can you imagine if you do this whole exercise for your whole year? We don't keep record like that because we'll go mad. But this is the idea I'm passing across here is, what are you living for? That's the question. Are you looking for what in your life? How do you spend your time? Remember, we spend money, time, energy, and intellect and talents. We spend them. Those are resources that God has given us to actually support our lives and also do something to his glory. So the question is, how do we spend our lives, and on what? Are they eternal worth things or temporal, materialistic things? In a nutshell, what are you buying with your life? What is the upshot? What would you actually look at the other side of the scale? What are you weighing your life against? What are you, in fact, buying, purchasing with your life, so to speak? So let's go through the various letters of the acronym again. What, the W stands for what or whom are you living for? This question encourages you to explore the deeper meaning of your existence. Are you living for your family? Great. Can you take them with? Well, not really, but yes, it's a good thing to invest in your family. There's a lot of eternal worth there. Your passions. What are your passions all about? Personal growth. Yes, about what? Is it to be famous or just be a better individual? Or is there a growth element, an eternal growth element? Or is it for a higher purpose, as I said? It's an invitation to consider what truly matters in your life and what are you dedicating your time and your energy to. The A stands for, what is your agenda? Let me just go there. What is your life's agenda or your mission? What specific goals or plans do you have that drive you, your daily actions and your decisions? Of course, we don't think about these things as we get up in the morning because we're halfway through the day and we realize we haven't even done what we were supposed to do. So yes, we don't plan properly. So it's always a good thing. They say it is good for your memory, believe it or not, to sit down the night before the next day and list the items that you want to achieve the next day. Because apparently, if you write it down, it's good for your memory, because you wake up the next morning and you know what you want to do. So your agenda, what is your agenda, your life's agenda? And it's no use having a life agenda and it never shows up on your daily worksheet. What are the achievements and the aspirations, what you want to achieve? Putting it differently, what are the answers that you're looking for? What are the questions, the mysteries in your life you are seeking answers to? Because you pose questions and life poses questions you every moment of every day. Whether you read it or think about it internally, not only when you read the Bible, it happens every moment of every day, because we are fantastically complicated and yet simple human beings. What questions or mysteries in life are you seeking answers to? What knowledge or understanding do you hope to gain through this journey we're talking about? So we're sitting there and we're yearning. We're reaching out to something. We yearn. We got these deep desires. We dreams. We even read, fictional books, and we dream. And one day we will do this, or we want to achieve that. What are those things that propel you forward in life? What are the things that you long for and aspire to achieve or experience? Exploring your yearnings can provide insight in your own true passions and motivations. So by analyzing what you are dreaming about, what you are yearning for, what the desires are of your life, will make you understand how you do what you do. And now we get to the why, yesterdays. Reflect on your yesterday. Don't just waste it and just write off last year. Go and sit down, not only on the 31st of December, spend some time during the course, do an interim examination during the course of the year. Reflect on your yesterdays, for they carry valuable lessons and wisdom. We do not want to repeat those mistakes. We want to learn from them. Now, just have a look at what I wrote there. Now, this is, you'll see down the bottom, I'm saying to you, let us reach out and say yes today. Now, where did this come from? Well, as I say, I like sitting and playing words and acronyms. I've coined and defined the word yesterday as meaning say yes to today, because it is in fact the only day that we have. It's the present moment. It's the day we have today. We can't get yesterday over, and we don't have tomorrow yet. We can say yes to that, despite our yesterdays with all its flaws and lessons learned, and embrace it because we are today, because of the decisions and even the mistakes we've made in our yesterday. Some were good and some were not so good, but we are in the here and now of our lives, in the present moment, and we have the power. This is the point. We got the power. You got the power to steer your life in a different direction, or maybe fine-tune it to align it with your chosen. Remember, nobody chooses it for you, because you are a free moral agent, they say in the theological language. You are a free moral agent. You can make your own decisions. You are different to the beast or dogs. You can fine-tune it or align it with your own chosen purpose, irrespective of your past. I've even come to the conclusion, let me just say this, and it's such a powerful thought. You are not your past. Your past helped you form to think what you think today and do what you want to do today. But this, you are not your past. You're not caught in the past. It's your own decision. The L of the what are you living for is, what is living? Is it just existing? How do you define and approach this act of living?
Yeah.
Is it just breathing or whatever? Does it mean to truly be alive and present in each moment of your life?
Yeah.
Question is, what is your legacy? What mark do you hope to leave on this world as a footprint? When you leave one day, how do you envision your impact lasting beyond your lifetime? Because surely that's what we have in mind. It's not just for the here and now. Love, in what ways does love, whether for others or for yourself, shape your existence and purpose? How does love influence your choices and action? It should actually have quite an impact, because when you love, you do things differently. We are love-driven. And the one that really triggered me to actually start this whole thought process, what are you living for? Why do we want a longer life if we don't know what do we want to do during that longer life? We always ask, can I have more money? Well, what do you want to do with the money? So if you want another 10 years, what do you want to do with those 10 years? Are you focused on extending your lifespan just to, have fun? What are your reasons and motivations for wanting a longer life? So there is the F. Not going to go through all of them. You got it. It's finance. Are you just living to create more value, money for what? What do you want to do with that? What do you want to buy for it? If your only goal, once somebody said, if your only goal in life is to get rich, you will never achieve it because there's always somebody else who's richer, and you can't define wealth. It is the chicken and egg scenario where you strive for more money to live longer, to earn more money to live longer, and the cycle continues. Is the F all about family? Yes, that's great, because you need to spend time with your family. You can't spend all your life, because then you'll actually grow in your toenails, so to speak. You know, when things start growing in, you know, you can actually live for and through your family. But you can actually work and live through them. Teach them how to pray. Friends. In what ways do your friendships and social connections contribute to your sense of purpose and happiness? If the friends make a contribution, that's great. Otherwise, cut people out. Sounds quite terrible, but you've got to make sure that you mix and that you attach yourself to friendships that are worth something towards your end goal. Is it all about fun? Yes, we enjoyed the rugby last night. 1 point. I still don't know how they did it. I think there's a flaw in the system there. We didn't actually deserve to win. 1 point. What is it? It's just crazy. 16-15 against the English yesterday, but that's beside the point. I enjoy my sport as well. How does the pursuit of enjoyment, leisure, and happiness factor in your life? How does it factor into your life's purpose? It should just be, it shouldn't be a complete distraction to your whole life. Freedom. It's a personal freedom where whether it's choices that you make, lifestyle, your beliefs, or fundamental aspects of your purpose. And then, of course, the finishing line. What specific goals or milestones represent the finish line in your life's journey? Right. Let me start closing off here. The F stands for me for fulfillment as well. And the acronym of WAYLF, it represents the overarching goal of finding something deep satisfaction and contentment in life. It's a sense that one's actions, your choices and pursuits align with their innermost desires and values, leading to a profound sense of purpose and fulfillment. Understanding what fulfills us is a critical step in shaping a meaningful, purposeful life. So there you have it. You got the summary there. The W stands for what or whom are you living for? The A for the agenda or answers you're looking for. What are you yearning? It's about yesterday. Living or legacy or love or longer life. Family or friends or fun or finances or freedom or finishing life. I believe this will serve as a framework for contemplation and prompting us to reflect on the various aspects or facets of life. Remember, life is like a diamond. It's got various facets. What are those facets contributing to your sense of purpose and meaning and fulfillment? I have discovered many years ago when I wrote the book, Your Most Valuable Asset, I've discovered the value of life, your life and my life, is determined by its purpose. Remember, we're talking about what are you living for? What is the meaning of your life? What or whom are you living for? So the value of a life, your life and my life, is determined by its purpose. The purpose gives meaning to it. So, to put it in a nutshell, in relation to your life, my life, your life, we determine its purpose, because remember, nobody else should actually tell you what the purpose in your life is. You should actually stand guard to that, and you will actually answer to God for that as well. You determine the purpose, so that will determine the meaning, and then it will actually tell you what your value is. Nobody else can determine your value. 6 scriptures I'm going to leave with you. Scripture says, and I'm quoting there from what I've written, the concept and powerful message of embracing the present, learning from the past, and confidently moving into the future can be found right through the New Testament in the Bible. Here are some scriptures. You can go and read them in detail. With Philippians 3:13 and 14 says, brothers and sisters, I do not consider myself yet to have taken hold of it. But one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining forward what is ahead, I press on toward the goal to win a prize for which God has called me, heavenward, not earthly word, in Christ Jesus. This verse encourages us to let go of our past mistakes and regrets and focus on moving forward, keeping your eyes on the goal and the purpose set by God in your life. Secondly, 2 Corinthians 5 verse 17, you know that verse, I'm sure. If anyone is in Christ, they are in the new creation. The new creation has come. The old is gone. The new is here in Christ Jesus. Third verse, Isaiah 43, 18 and 19 says, forget the former things. It's all about forgetting the past. Do not dwell on the past. See, I'm doing a new thing. Now it springs up to, do you not perceive it? I'm making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. God's promise of doing something new encourages, not only in your life, also in our country, also in the world. It doesn't look now, doesn't look good, but look beyond that and say, well, God has given us a promise to do something. It encourages us to let go of the past and embrace the new opportunities that lie ahead. Ephesians 5, 15 to 17, be very careful then how you live. That is an admonishment. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. This passage just encourages us to live wisely in the present, making the most of every opportunity and seeking to understand God's will for our lives. The fifth of the 6 verses I'm sharing with you, James 1, 2 to 4 says, consider it pure joy. I often thought about this verse and said, you know, what made him write this? He said, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. And then by integrating these concepts, I think I've only got 5 verses there. Integrating these concepts and scriptures, we can construct and underpin the message of the word which I've coined, which I'm going to share the words of the song with you in a minute. Yes, today. It's a declaration, embracing the present with gratitude, learning from our past and confidently moving into the future with hope and faith in God's presence. Now, so we wrote this poem. I'll read it to you, because after that we're going to see the song and you can listen to the song in closing. It's a poem I co-wrote to articulate the message I'm trying to convince to you and get across to you tonight. In yesterday's embrace, this is not yesterday, it's yes today embrace. We found our past, a journey woven with memories vast. Through trials and errors, we've grown strong, gathering wisdom all along. With grace and forgiveness, our hearts are freed. The stains of guilt, and there are stains, there are lots of hurt, by love decreased. In Christ we find a clean slate, a chance to start anew, to recreate. Today's the threshold, the door of fate, where hope and dreams we cultivate. With grateful hearts, we boldly say, yes to today, as we dance and pray. And then a couple of more verses to that poem. Yes to me, say yes to that. And then embrace the present, free from the chain. Let go of regrets that weigh you down, for in today's light, new wonders are found. In God's grace, our stories unfold, the past and present, a tale untold. With faith as our guide, we boldly stand, yes to me, say yes to that, hand in hand. Yes to that, and yes today. With each new dawn, let gratefulness sway, embrace the journey, let love ignite, yesterday's wisdom shining bright.
Yes to me, say yes to that, embrace the present, no looking back. Yesterday, the future's bright. find